Gone. Okay, all right, great, thank you. Okay, welcome everybody to the Montpelier City Council meeting on October 14th. Let's say a quick prayer and we move on. Father God, we thank you for today. Thank you for our community. We pray for vision, pray for direction and guidance in all that we're doing, Lord. Pray that you'd help us be successful. It's in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, everyone might notice that we're missing somebody tonight. Margaret is at home, but she's joining us through Teams meeting. She fell and broke both of her kneecaps, and it's quite a story. But she is joining us, so she's here and on through a Teams meeting. So, but in her absence, I will be doing roll call. So, Michael Smith,
Here.
Corey Roberts,
Here.
Gary Cagle,
Here.
John Morgan,
Here.
Travis Sills, here, and I'm here, Brad Neff. So, all right. Oh, and then let's say stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right.
Sorry, thank you.
We do have, I've got the agenda in front of you. I do have a couple changes I'd like to make. I'd like to move mainstream up to the top right after the budget ordinance for approval. They don't have to sit through the whole meeting that way. And then also I'd like to add, we have a couple bids for door work here at the city building. I'd like to add that as well. That'll be after Dana Pence's alley. And a railroad update after E. So, do we have a motion to accept the agenda as proposed?
I'll make a motion, we accept it.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Travis motioned and John second. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Are you keeping minutes or should I be doing anything more, Margaret?
I'll get my minutes off from ET.
Okay, okay. Great.
I'm making notes of what I would do with the agenda, so we're good.
Would you record it, Tina? On your phone? Yeah, the meeting. Okay. And now we have the minutes from the last meeting, the September 9th meeting. Everybody could review those, and I'll take a motion to approve those whenever you're ready. You can just leave it there, I guess.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes.
Okay, John motioned,
I'll second.
and Gary seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And, okay, new business, is the 2025 budget ordinance. It's the same ordinance we talked about last month. It just has to be officially recognized. Do we have a motion to approve that?
Something to remember, Brad.
Yes,
We advertise high, that doesn't mean we have to spend it.
okay, all right.
Mayor, did you have your public hearing on the ordinance at the previous meeting?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so then this time around, it's just.
Just a matter-
Motion to pass.
Yes, yeah, do we have a motion to pass it then?
I'll make a motion to pass it.
Okay, Corey motioned,
I'll second.
And John seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I have to abstain because of my conflict of interest
Okay.
with the fire department,
It,
so.
Travis is abstaining due to conflict of interest.
Let's remember when the ordinance comes around, how to mark it on the sheet.
I marked it as abstained.
Okay, oh, very good.
Yep.
Okay, very good.
I did that.
Very good. Okay, awesome. Okay. Okay, good, good. All right, well, I guess, first on the agenda, then we'll have, Main Street. So with us tonight is, Mike Wilson and Fred Price.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. And Mayor, thank you. Councilman, thank you. Just a quick update. Fred and I were actually talking to our Chief Operations Officer just about how the build schedule was going, and we have actually started today. I don't know if you saw the boring equipment out and all that, but so we're looking at the projects on the west side of the tracks. That's going to be segment 1. Segment 2 will be the east side of the tracks, basically. If we're taking the entirety of Montpelier, splitting it in half kind of as the tracks go. West side is going to go first, and that's where we started because that's where we got the pole attachment agreements. Engineering is done with that. Permitting has all been passed on that too. So we're in good shape for segment 1. I know we've seen some delays too. He was telling me about that as well. So we are trying to shore that up. So that'll be, so when we talk about what's happening west of the tracks, we've got 401 homes passed total. In terms of aerial, we're looking at about 6,000 feet, but 40,000 feet total for the project in fiber, and this is fiber to the premise too. So this is going right to the house, right to the business with fiber. So we expect hopefully to have completion in the next few months as we keep working our way through. So hopefully we don't have any hitches in our giddy up there. In terms of the eastern segment, one of the things that we're waiting for is some approval because we need pole attachment agreements with the power company. The power company is in Florida helping out, so all contractors are in Florida right now helping out with the disaster there. That has been a challenge for our contacts and trying to get permit agreements, pole attachment agreements through them. So that kind of gives you an idea about where we stand. That's going to be actually the bulk of the build, but not by much. It is really kind of split in half. It's 486 homes and businesses passed, and a similar amount of miles there too. In terms, we're looking at about between 8 and 10 miles total of fiber from each part of the build.
Okay, so one side of the building, or one side of the city is 400 building, or 400, and the other one's 486? Is
Yeah,
that correct?
yeah,
Okay, all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay,
401, I guess,
good.
if we're going to be
Okay,
accurate.
all
Yep.
right, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
okay.
and that's it. So I just wanted to provide that quick update. We're still looking ahead to the future of like, okay, what's this permit agreement going to look like with the power company when they get back? So we're hoping maybe it'll be like another month on that, but we'll keep you updated in terms of how that looks and
Very good.
get the email chain started and let anybody know, whoever wants to know. So we do want to keep you all in the loop.
Okay. Any questions? When do you have an expiration, when this will be up and running, or?
In its entirety is hard to say because again, we're waiting on that disaster recovery effort from the
Yeah,
power
yeah,
company. What
yeah.
I would say is for what we're starting right now, that's all within our control. So
Mm-hmm.
that makes me feel a lot better about a timeline. And that one we're looking at I would put it at about 2 months, but again, you never know when they're gonna run into something that would be
Right.
like, oh, well, here's the locates were off here or something happened there. So those are all things, but again, keep you all in the loop. If we have any problems, hit any hitches, we will absolutely communicate that with you.
Okay, very good, very good.
Any other?
As we move forward, when we do build out and we can light it up, we'll go ahead and light it up. We won't wait till we're
Okay.
totally done.
Okay, good, good.
So we'll build it and light it up as we go along.
Yeah,
Very-
that's
very
a
good.
great
Yeah.
point Fred
Okay.
brought up. So we will
Yeah.
absolutely, as we
Yeah.
go, we're not going to wait till project entirety and then go. We're going to
Yes.
go as we go. So
And then, there's no connection fees for, people, is that right?
in terms, are you talking about like connection to the, not like prices that they would pay for service, right? You're talking about
right,
just
not-
like to,
Yeah,
The
yeah,
hookup fee.
yeah.
No,
Yeah, it's minimal.
okay,
I don't know what it's gonna be, I think around $50 somewhere.
Okay,
but
okay.
It's minimal.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
all right, all
one
right.
time only.
One time, okay, very good, very good. Mary, did you have a question?
What's the total cost of the project, if you know?
I do not know that. I can check on that. Sometimes that information is sensitive when it's not, like if it's a build that we have put, like if there's a public-private partnership, then that can go out. But if it's a build that we do, we have to keep that sometimes private depending on the situation, but I can check, and get back to you on that.
There's no cost to Montpelier.
Yeah, so, that's,
Mm-hmm.
So how will you know when when your house is ready to go for it?
That we will communicate. We're rolling out a whole communications plan, like right now as we start to get folks lit up. And so I've been working with our marketing team on that, in order to let homeowners know either by email. We actually already have a process where folks are putting their addresses into our system. And so we'll go through and track those addresses, make sure that we're doing customer outreach. So that way through electronic and through mail, folks will know that we're in the neighborhood and that they have service options now.
If you go on our site, you can put your address in there, and it'll tell you whether you're available or not.
okay,
And then you can also actually sign up online if you want to.
okay, good. So we, online signups are available,
It'll
so,
show you the different levels of service. You can select and do it all over the internet.
very good, very good.
Make it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? Yeah.
I
Okay.
have one,
Oh,
Mayor.
oh, yes.
A long time ago, we're talking last November, December, when we were looking at Main Street, they talked about putting in an electric charger for electric cars. Is that off the table?
I don't know that we ever said that. Maybe your power company did, we don't do that.
They said apparently they don't do electric chargers.
What we might have said is a hotspot, a Wi-Fi hotspot
Oh, okay,
at the park or something.
yeah,
Or if they could need, if there's a car charger station or something like that that needs a fiber backhaul or something like that too, that could have come up.
oh, okay,
But we don't do we wouldn't agree to a power thing specifically because we don't touch that stuff, but it could be fiber going to something that provides a service like that.
okay, good, all right.
Getting older, my memory's gonna show.
Oh, it's all right.
Oh, no. Oh, all right. Well, thank you very much. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Well, thank you all for your
I tell
time.
you, the
And
community's
again, any
abuzz with it.
questions,
Yeah.
let me know.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. You guys are welcome to stay or go, whichever. You're,
Yeah.
okay, I understand.
On the road tomorrow too. so-
Oh, yeah, I totally understand, totally
Thank you all.
understand.
Have a good
Okay,
night.
thank
thanks
you.
for coming.
Okay,
Thank you.
and, all right. Well, that moves to our next one, is property standards, and Adrian Haverstadt is here. He also works with Mike Hartberg, who's our primary city attorney, but, so but Adrian's helping us with our property standards,
Yeah,
and so,
so you have the unsafe building ordinance overhaul up first, so I've got a copy of, you've got a copy of the ordinance, here's another one for each of you.
oh, they've already got
Okay.
all the copies, sorry, it's,
Well, and
yeah.
I'd say most importantly would be the last page of the packets that I have. There's kind of an outline of the unsafe building enforcement process.
Oh,
and
yes,
how
got it.
that actually maps out
Yeah,
when you take the steps.
good,
So I'll
all right,
circulate these.
awesome, thank you.
One for the clerk. Gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right. So, yeah, as the mayor said, my name's Adrian. It's nice to join all of you here tonight in Montpelier. My partner Mike is the city attorney. He's been working with the mayor on several different things. My discussions with Mike before I got here tonight, he let me know that there's significant leadership change in the city over the last election cycle, and that the mayor is interested in addressing blight within the city.
Yes.
So Mike and I have assisted several other communities with implementing unsafe building and code enforcement, which will be the next ordinance we talk about. So overall, there's some bare bones structure set up by state law, things that you have to have in an ordinance to make it effective. And then we've kind of built on that to build out a program, forms for your clerk and your police department. If you have an inspector, someone that's gonna go out and look at the properties, we'll work alongside them to make the ordinance actually be effective, like useful, user-friendly, and kind of streamline that enforcement process. Both ordinances that are going to be before you tonight are wholesale changes. We're taking for this one, a big chunk of chapter 150 that's in your existing code. We're hitting the delete button and dropping in a new section. And that, the new insertion is language that we've helped other communities with. We've actually put it to work, so to speak. And in Huntington County, we've had it challenged, and it's been upheld in the court system locally, and 2 of those cases have gone up on appeal to Indianapolis, and it's been upheld there too. So we feel pretty strongly that it meets the minimum requirements, and if the process is followed, it's an effective way to do unsafe building enforcement. So from a 10,000-foot view for both of these ordinances, you'll go through your process to adopt it with changes. If you guys have questions, that's fair game tonight. You can pass it tonight if you jump through some hoops. If not, you can pass it on the first reading, pass it on the second meeting at your next regularly scheduled meeting. You have to publish a notice of adoption in your local newspaper because both of these have monetary fines tied to them. So that's a state law requirement. When there's an ordinance that imposes a fine, you have to publish notice in the newspaper to make that effective. And once you have those 2 steps covered, we'll create the ordinance enforcement forms, tailored referencing these ordinances, the specific code citations, set them up for signature by the right folks here at the city level. And we'll work alongside your clerk treasurer or whatever other enforcement folks you choose to assign to those tasks to make sure they're comfortable with the forms and they know which blanks they need to fill out, how to do the mailings, how to jump through the procedural hoops to make it happen. And then we're going to put it to work.
Awesome.
All right? So the flow charts that are kind of attached to the back for unsafe building, this is a multi-step process. It is not exactly quick, but state law requires several steps to be taken. So the real big change for you as a city is going to be setting up the 2-part enforcement process. You've got an enforcement authority. These are whether it's an employee, a department. I think you have the structural soundness building committee that was part of your code already. Okay. So those are the folks that are going to be out there doing the looking. They're going to identify whether it's because they're reported in to the city administration or just as them doing their job, kind of canvassing the city. They're going to recognize a place. They're the ones that schedules an inspection. They're the ones that write up an order specifying what has to be done to bring the structure into compliance. And it sets a public hearing that's going to go before the hearing authority, which we've set up to be your Board of Public Works and Safety. Mm-hmm. And they're going to hear from the enforcement authority on, I was there on this date, this is what I observed, this is what I told them they needed to do, this is the timeline I gave them to do it. They've started, they haven't started, I haven't heard from anybody. They called me and said they're trying to hire a contractor. I mean, there's a whole host of options as far as possible next steps. And then the hearing authority is going to either affirm the order and say, we like it, we like the timeline that it's set. They can modify the order. If you've got a responsive homeowner or property owner that comes forward and says, hey, I want to talk about a work plan. I think I can get this done in 3 months, and within the next 60 days, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and report back to you, but I'd like to have 90 to get it all done. They can modify, the hearing authority, your Board of Works, can modify the order to say, well, we're going to extend the compliance deadline from November 30th. We're going to extend it out to January 30th, and you can come back and report to us and kind of daisy chain them along to compliance. Or they can rescind the order because the person comes in and says, hey, I did all the things I have to do, or the guy was wrong about the line, the wall being out of, when you came in and we put a level on it together, it was actually straight, it wasn't a risk, and so you could cancel it completely. But that's the hearing authority's job. And then when you have to, bring out the heavy-handed approach to say, well, they haven't fixed it, they aren't making any efforts to fix it, they aren't talking to us about a timeline, we want to start taking steps towards demolition. The hearing authority is the one that tells the enforcement authority, we want you to solicit demolition proposals and bring them back to us at a public meeting to open. It was because we want to have this problem solved permanently. And they then award the demolition contract and assess the costs to the property owner. So there's a very As it's outlined there, there's a title search required because you have to identify the owner and anyone with an interest in the property, whether it's a bank mortgage or another lien. The title search tells you who you have to send the letters to, and then you just follow the timeline through. But it's kind of written in general terms: enforcement authority, hearing authority, inspector, because those are the kinds of people that are involved in the unsafe building process. 'Cause I know that was a lot of information to just
No,
dump in your
that's good.
laps,
That's good.
but I've done this a few times.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Any questions, anything I can speak to specifically, happy to do that.
Well, could you talk about the procedure then for somebody who just got a lot of junk in their yard?
Yep,
You know, just,
so
a nuisance,
the
I
tough
guess.
part when it comes to, I use the just general, big label code enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
So when you've got a property that just doesn't look good,
Mm-hmm.
to me, it's a triage of, well, what kind of problem is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it tall grass? Is it junk piles? Is the place unsafe? Are there broken windows? Like, what's the problem we need to solve? So unsafe building deals with structural, unsafe, demolition as a possibility type problems. If it's junk piles in the yard, it's gonna be your next ordinance, the nuisance issues.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, and I could transition to that if you'd like.
Well, any more questions on the unsafe building? Any? Yeah,
Mayor, I have
Oh.
one.
Oh, yes, Margaret?
I can't see the ordinances right now, but is any of this legal?
Yes, so, unsafe building costs, so if the city, if you adopt the ordinance and you jump through all the hoops, you go through the steps, you do the inspection, you issue the order, you wait the timeline, you solicit demolition proposals, you award it to a contractor, at the end of it, the work gets done, the contractor bills the city, and the city pays the bill. One of the last steps in the enforcement process, like the flow chart I gave, you send out, it's called a notice of costs letter. And so that's something that goes out on city letterhead via certified and regular mail to the owner and everyone else with an interest in the property. They have 30 days to pay that bill. If they do not pay it, you have two options. You can record it as a lien. It gets added to their real estate tax bill. Or you can file suit in court to have a money judgment. Judge says homeowner owes the city the demolition cost. And there's also a process where you can add an administrative fee, because you'll incur costs, a title search, all the mailings, sending out one letter certified in regular mail is just like $9. That's for one single letter, both ways. Postage isn't cheap anymore. And you gotta send out a series of letters for this process. So you can set or your Board of Works can set an admin fee. I think in the city of Huntington, it's like $1,600. So it's the demo bill plus $1,600. That's what the homeowner has to pay if a property's demolished. And if not, it can be recorded as a lien.
Okay.
So yes, there is a cost recovery option, or there are options for cost recovery. And added to the tax bill, if that doesn't get paid, the property becomes then eligible for tax sale because this is part of their real estate tax bill. So if the owner doesn't want to satisfy the debt, they may lose their property if your county does tax sales.
Mary, did you have a question? That was it. Oh, that was it. Okay, very good.
That's a good question. It's fair.
Well,
Yep.
That's good. That's good. All right. Well, to kind of piggyback on that, actually, I don't know if you got a copy of this or not, but I asked Mike how we could set up a city court. And for some reason, we had some misinformation that we had to have an attorney that lived in the city, and that's apparently not the case. So Mike said that we could have an election basically next year and elect them for 2026. And, do you know anything more about that? Or do you-
That is pretty much what I know.
Okay, very, very good. Okay, all right. So I think that would obviously make this job a lot easier to have a court in the city with these types of issues. So, because that'd be something that we could run through the city court too, right? Is that correct?
That I'm not sure.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know.
Oh, okay.
I routinely run them through the regular circuit
county
or superior
courts.
court in
Okay, all right.
Huntington.
Okay,
For the few that I've had in Wells County, we do work for Montpelier and Ossian.
okay.
Or you're Montpelier.
Yeah.
Penedo and
Penedo.
Ossian
Oh, okay.
currently.
Uh-huh.
Penedo, I haven't had any unsafe building issues there to deal with. The few that I've had in Ossian didn't get to the point where we had to go to court to get a judgment.
Okay.
The property owner brought it into compliance, or the city went in a different direction.
Okay.
So, but in Huntington, I have had zero issues getting those enforced through the regular county court,
Right, okay,
for that part.
very good, okay, all right, okay. Well, do we have any questions, or? And tonight, then we just need to vote on these and then allow 30 day or to the next meeting, then we'd actually be.
Yeah, so for ordinances in general, the statutory process is, it gets introduced, it can be passed on the first reading, and then carry over to the next meeting, get passed on the second reading.
Yeah.
That works. And there is an alternate procedure. It would take the 5 guys that are here. They can pass it on its first reading and vote to, unanimously vote to adopt it on the same night that it's introduced. They would take a unanimous vote, and then you need a supermajority. You need 4 of the 5 to vote yes the second time.
Okay,
So if you want to go the accelerated route tonight on that, you can. You aren't required to do that.
any discussion on how we should do this? Should we vote on it and then take a month, or do you wanna,
But it still has to be in the paper because it's monetary fines, you said.
So, yeah, once it's completely passed,
Yeah.
whether that all happens tonight or it carries over to your November meeting, once it's passed, you have 30 days to publish a notice in the newspaper
Yeah.
that the ordinance is effective.
Okay.
And that, you're right, that's tied to the fines part.
okay, all right. You wanna just give it 30 days, vote on,
Or
I
you
would- I
could
feel
have
more
it published,
Okay.
that way if anybody does have any concerns with it, then
Yeah.
they can come in and voice their opinion, not that anybody will show up, but,
Sure.
yeah, I think that would be fair.
I
Okay.
think so.
All right. Do you have a motion to, I guess we could just do them both in the same motion. I don't know if we could or not, or is that?
I would just deal with them separate, yeah.
Oh, separately, okay, all right. So, do we have a motion then to, approve the, ordinance 2024-07? That is the, is that the unsafe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the unsafe.
Okay, that's the
Unsafe
unsafe,
building
okay, unsafe building, yeah.
ordinance.
So, do we have a motion to approve this as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay, Michael?
I'll
Motion?
I'll give you a second.
Okay, Travis seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And then we have, next one, which is the nuisance, and that's 2024-08, ordinance. Do you have a motion to, approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Gary motion,
I'll second.
Travis, Corey seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, good, all right. Well, we got the first step done. We'll get everything in the paper and we'll go from there.
Well, you won't have to put anything in the paper after this. It'll be after your next meeting when it's passed on its second and final reading.
That's when, okay,
Yep, and
Okay.
I'll work with Margaret, the clerk,
yes,
because I'll send her a notice of adoption that has, for each of them, that
Okay.
has the things that it needs to have.
okay,
And then she'll coordinate that with the newspaper to have it run,
Okay.
and they'll charge the city $80 or something to run it. You get a discount on the publication rates
right,
as a municipality.
okay.
So that'll be the next step, and then once it's in place, we'll build out the forms for the nuisance enforcement and the unsafe building.
Great.
Mayor, if you'd like for us to come back and talk with the Board of Works about what that role looks like, happy to do it, whether it's at a meeting, or if you want to schedule an executive session to just talk openly
Yeah.
in a not-so-public setting about what those,
What hurdles we're gonna run into.
yeah,
Yeah.
because the hearing authority, they kind of sit as the judge and the jury for
Yeah.
whether or not to decide, gives a person more time or not,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes the property owners can be very heated,
Yes,
and, at the risk of losing their losing it to demolition, that
Yeah.
there are ways to phrase questions and, deal with things that might benefit from some prompting in advance.
okay,
But it's nothing that can't be overcome.
okay, well, thank you. Well, we
Yeah.
look forward to working with you in the future and.
Likewise, yep.
Okay.
Nice to meet all of you, gentlemen.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Enjoy your evening.
Okay. All right, well, we'll get that, move that on. And, let's see. Okay, the salary ordinance, we have that, as well. Do we have to sign that one, Margaret? the salary ordinance?
I talked to Jim today.
Okay.
The salary ordinance that we're presenting is for the increase in salaries, of course.
Right,
But there is attachments to that salary ordinance.
Okay.
Amendment A, and there's distributions, and we have not finished out those distributions. We do not have to approve that to the end of the year.
okay, all right, so we can talk about that later then.
You can talk about it, you wanna pass it, that's fine. You'll pass it again when we get the utilities all set up, because it's a different set of budgets for those.
Okay, all right, so I guess we'll table that one then. So, all right. Okay, Dana Pence, has requested that we vacate an alley. It's actually not even an alley, it was supposed to be a road at some point, official layout. This is Main Street, and this is Main Street Road. And it's always, it's never had a road or even gravel on it, it's just always been a, do you know where, Al Coleman used to have a garage? He's right it's right there, actually Dana owns that building now, and then right behind it, what used to be is where a city road was supposed to be, but it's never gonna be a city road. And, I think it'd be wise just to vacate the land, and basically when we do that, each side gets 50% of the property, so on Dana's side, he would get 50%, and then the other side would get the other half of the property. He did our attorney sent us the information on, information he had to put in the paper and so forth. Pass that around, if you wanna look at it. But, is there any discussion on that, or you guys wanna talk about it further, or do you wanna, that's what he put in the paper.
Oh, yeah. I've already seen it. I don't need to look at it.
Oh, yeah,
So where's he wanting to get rid of, right here?
yeah, it's in that center spot there.
So right behind that old church?
Yeah, it's a, garage, church, whatever, that's.
Whatever,
Yeah, that's,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Guess I didn't realize that was an alley.
Well, it never
I thought it
was.
was their yard.
It always, and it's always been treated as their yard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
No one's ever, obviously this, and it's in a place where the city's never gonna put that street there.
You know.
It's set out for, it's actually a wide.
They've always mowed it, right?
Oh, yeah,
They always take
yeah,
care of it.
right, yeah, so it's never, but he actually wants to build on, and he needs more property to build on.
Oh, well, for a price,
So-
we can vacate it.
That's right. So, well, do we have a motion to vacate the alley, or as proposed?
I'll make a motion to vacate the alley.
Okay, John motioned.
I'll second it.
Okay, Corey second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. JP Doorways has proposed give us a couple bids. Our doors out front are just in poor shape, and they're poor doors. They're residential doors that shut, they're very hard to open and shut. I was asking for a bid for 2 glass doors to make it look better, and also just to perform better. He gave us Jan is actually a new person here in the community. He moved here within the last year, but he does have a new business called JP Doorways, our business. He gave us a bid for $7,800 for that, $7,877. He also gave us a bid for this door, which we would like to have as a more secure door, where we would put a lock on there where every employee be assigned a passcode, and it wouldn't open unless they have a passcode. That way we don't have to leave the door open all the time. Some people just walk through, and that's not really a safe thing. And then he would also insulate it better, because it's actually not very well insulated. And that's a bid of $1,200 for that. Do you guys want to
So you're looking at about 10,000 total?
9,000, 9,077. Yeah,
Did you get any other bids?
I did not. Do you,
Okay.
He did our door, and I will tell you, he was about $8,000 less for the same door that we had other quotes on. So,
I know, I started thinking about getting another bid, and it's like, everybody else is be out of town. I was kind of,
Yeah.
I kind of liked the fact that he was just moved here.
and he did a great job. He did
Yeah.
an awesome job on our house.
But we could set up, oh, yeah. Did he do work for you too, Margaret?
We had our basement door replaced by an old wood door with a metal one, and Jan did a very good job on that.
Okay, good, yeah. You guys want to sit on it for a month, or do you want to, or you want, what do you think?
There's no reason to sit on it, it's just gonna get colder, so if you got air coming in or whatever, so.
Well, do we have
I'll make a
motion?
motion to
Okay.
accept the bids.
Okay, Gary, motion.
second it.
Okay, Michael second it. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good. All right. Bluffton Regional, this is just an update. Bluffton Regional sold their family practice unit to Meridian Health. Bluffton Regional was the company that was moving into our downtown, which we've been doing all the work for. So, yeah, so we were meeting with Meridian Health this week, just an update, and talking about that, continuing on with that project. And then we're also hopefully going to propose that they bring in occupational health, which actually they were founded on occupational health. So we were gonna ask to see if they would be interested in the old Cheney hardware for the occupational health side. So, we're gonna be meeting with them on Thursday and go from there. So, but that's just an update on what's going on there. And Bill Smith is not here, so, no EMA. Chicken ordinance, we had, approved that last meeting, we had our 30 days, and Adrian left. I don't know if we need to vote on that anymore. No one has objected. Let's just, somebody want to make a motion to go ahead and just finalize the chicken ordinance?
I'll make a motion, we finalize chicken ordinance 2024-04.
Okay, and Travis motioned.
I'll second.
John seconded. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And recovery of energy, Jim Higgins is still checking into that. He's not been able to find out any information for us on the solar panel information. We got some good news on Railroad. I don't know if you guys remember, a couple years ago, we had an issue where there was a proposal to close one of the roads. Railroad has announced they are going to put closing arms on both High Street and Green Street. So we're very, very fortunate there. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice.
So, and that is the end of our meeting, unless there's something else anybody wants to talk about. Long meeting compared to some of the other ones. But, okay, well.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, Travis motion, we adjourn.
There we go.
And John, okay, all right, thank you. And Margaret, do you want to stay online and we'll start the redevelopment here in just a few minutes?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd be happy to.
Okay, great.